Ashley Gavin is, I think, the first ever
lesbian
that I've allowed on the pod. But it's Gay Pride Month.
So you had to do it.
So I was forced to.
Obligated by law.
I was forced
People
to.
People are going to burn down this studio.
Or I'd be canceled. And I had you in my phone just for this month. I've been waiting. You're my
Thank you so much for going to get breakfast with me. Breakfast with me in June. I appreciate it. We've been trying to work on it for so long. I've been trying to get a meal with this fucking bitch.
You know what
June rolls around. Oh, hey.
Do you know, I actually realized that most of my podcast guests are gay.
Really?
Like, I basically have a gay podcast.
That's great.
I'm a competitive podcast to you.
You are, and you're winning.
No.
Your gay podcast is far more popular than my gay podcast.
I've been appropriating gay culture, and I need to apologize to you.
You played like professional level tennis.
I appropriate a lesbian.
I've just said you're a butchy straight girl, but really what you're doing is wrong. And now that we're here and it's June, it's time to have the uncomfortable conversations, Hannah. These are the uncomfortable conversations.
Or maybe I'm not a butch straight. Maybe I'm just a femme les.
You could be a femme. I wouldn't even. Yeah, I mean, oh my God, that's such an interesting. Yeah, if you were a lesbian, I would never call you like a butch lesbian because like I'm a butch, and even when I use butch for myself, I'm like, I don't think I'm butch enough for butch. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I consider myself.
You're just Jay and Silent Bob.
I am. If Jay and Silent Bob had a baby, can you stop quoting? Literally, every video that I have go viral, there's like 7 of those, and every single one of those guys thinks that he invented that joke. And I'm like, this joke has been around for a while, bro. I get it.
You nailed it.
I didn't mean to, and I'm a 35-year-old woman.
Speaking of being 35, you posted a very vulnerable Instagram story saying, guys, I'm finally looking older.
Yes, I did.
What made you do that?
I love that. That's the vulnerable Instagram story. That's straight. I'm looking older. No, meanwhile, I'm posting shit like about my chronic pain and like homophobia in this industry, trying to help trans people right now. You're like, you admitted that you have a wrinkle. What was that like?
That was my like straight privileged perspective that I want to apologize for. But it's kind of cool to see someone say that.
I don't know if I'm being stupid for talking about my age on stage or in Instagram because I know I look younger than I am.
Yeah.
Because I have this. I have
Who
a disorder.
told you that?
Everybody.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Literally everyone.
No,
I do not look 35.
You don't have a pore.
Thank you.
But I also think 35 isn't young. I mean, isn't old.
Zoom.
No.
Comedic zoom on my face.
35 is not old. I have a very hot grandma, so I age like a fine wine. Grandma. So I'm like investing in myself long term. My mom, I know, was her hottest like after she had kids.
I actually think in your 30s and 40s can be when you're at your hottest because you lose. There's just something that happens in a woman's face or a person's face. Like, I don't take gender out of it. I don't know how men are, but I actually think some of the lines are like kind of beautiful and like define your face in an interesting way.
See, what I do is
you know who you are, you know how to dress, you like know yourself, you're more confident.
Well, yeah, confidence carries everything to be hotter. Do you look in the mirror a lot?
Yes, but more than anything, I'm editing. I'm looking at my clips, watching my tapes all goddamn day. Like, I just sit and stare. I'm working on a new show right now. I just watch myself for an hour and a half, like, straight through, pausing, taking notes. You're just staring at yourself all day, and it's not good for you. And we wonder why the suicide rates are up. Everybody's staring at themselves all day with discontent.
Yeah. I really don't look in the mirror that much.
That's smart.
Or I just don't. I have the, like, reverse body dysmorphia where I look in the mirror for like a second and I'm like, she's fucking hot.
No, I have that.
I
definitely have that. But I think for me, it's like I'm noticing new lines on my face and I'm like, you know, it's interesting because I'm like, I don't want to do anything crazy, but I was like, oh, this is for however confident I am and however masculine I present, this is like such a female like experience that I'm having, like looking at the lines at my face being like, what do I want to do, if anything, about this?
It also is you realizing you're human. Because, like, our whole 20s, you hear all the, like, oh, you're so young. And you're like, well, I feel like a feral mess. And like, but enjoy your youth.
The thing
and
is
I'm
that
like,
I didn't know that I was a feral mess. My 20s were the worst. I had the worst 20s, and I had no idea how bad it was. Like, I look back at my 20s, and I'm like, what the fuck were you doing, dude? You were in therapy? That was you in therapy for that long? You were sober. I never had a drink in my life, and that was you in your 20s? That shit. That shit.
What was happening?
I was just in these horrible relationships.
Oh.
And not really allowing myself to, like, I didn't start comedy till I was 26.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowing myself to be my full person. My hair, bro.
What was going on?
I shouldn't admit to this, but before I found a straight woman really sorted me out. I dated this straight woman.
True ally.
Yes, true ally. She was having sex with me, so that was great. Listen, if you think you're an ally, hey, you. Hello, female listener, age, let's say 24 to infinity. Are you really an ally?
Have you ever given a woman an orgasm?
Have you given a woman have you received one from a woman? If not, check your privilege.
Are you a giver and a taker?
Sure. Top or a bottom?
Are you verse?
I think all lesbians are switchy.
Yeah.
We don't say verse as much in the lesbian
I was seeing how long
community.
we could go without talking about sex.
Oh. No, fuck that. Don't have sex with me. Well, have sex with me, but go listen to my podcast. We're having gay sex.
You're trying to change the subject about your hair.
It looks so bad. So here's why.
Was it long?
It was long, dude. Well, right now it's crazy long. I haven't heard it. This is like the longest it'll ever get. But it was really, really long. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to dress. I knew I could see what I wanted to look like, and I just had no idea how to get there.
Yeah.
And sort of half did it and then abandoned the project, you know? Mm-hmm, my eyebrows were all fucked up. Mm-hmm. And if you go, in my past life, I was a computer scientist and a computer science educator.
Yeah.
And I have a TED Talk and these keynote speeches that are just out on the internet of me just looking horrible. And now they're going viral. Because though they went viral at the time as a TED Talk, but now they're resurging because people are looking for my comedy, and then my fucking TED Talk goes into their algorithm.
And that's why you have wrinkles, because you've been through it.
You've been through it,
and it's so beautiful.
I've worked in 2 male-dominated fields.
Yes. Sorry, I get very pumped up about that stuff.
You grabbed a tit too.
Yeah, I did.
I know that's
my
not
shirt
why.
is not really staying on right now because I'm an ally. I do think I
Are you not stripping for lesbians on your podcast? You're not an ally.
You're not an ally. I don't wear bras. The second it hits 65, I stop wearing bras.
You're kind of sorry that I just stared at your boobies.
No, it's
you have, but you're kind of they're not massive. They're not massive. They're quite perky now that I'm staring at. I've never stared at your tits before, Hannah, and I feel super uncomfortable doing so.
No, but you're right. They're small enough that I could pull off a top like this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But they're big enough that a nip could slip out in this, and it would be a moment. People would talk about it for at least a day. They'd be like, "Did you see when Hannah's fucking tits slipped out?"
You should do that. It's good publicity. I think actually, in order for a nip slip to matter, you have to be a level of fame that you're not quite at. I love you, but you're not quite there yet.
No, people be like, she's so thirsty.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to do a nip slip, you have to be of a certain level of fame. Otherwise, people are like, oh, free nipple. If you're not at
you have to have a nip slip after you've hit a certain level of fame, and then you're going down, you're downward spiraling.
And then
people are like, yeah, she's definitely, overdosed on Ozempic or something's going on.
Do we have a topic or do we just talk? Because I thought of something.
What?
I was lamenting. Yes. As I often do.
As you often do. The only way of thinking you do, because she's a smart overthinker.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I am a smart overthinker.
Smart people are ill.
I was just thinking about how I'm doing everything on the internet as a comedian. I've never had a fucking credit. I've never had a break, and every break that I've had is through my own work, and it's just one little viral video at a time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no other woman is doing it this way. And then I thought, and I caught myself, and I thought, Hannah Berner is the only other woman making it on the internet right now.
Okay, are we gonna make out? Everyone has to run to watch your special. I'm such a fangirl.
Thank you.
And this is the thing, I consider you
free on YouTube.
I consider you a mentor to me. And it was like a mentor that I like put on a pedestal where I was like, the industry isn't, noticing her yet, but I know her. Like, she's special and she's got the goods, and like, who knows what's going to happen. She's grinding. So for me to see the person that I respect and admire to then like crush it so much, I'm like one of those fans where I'm like, she's mine. Like, I'm like, that's my girl.
Really, that's very sweet.
Like, I feel like I was part of the journey in a way where I watched you when you could have quit so many times. When it was really bad. When it was honestly sad at some points. Like, pretty sad. Like, we were like, what's going on here? But in the...
When was that for you? Because I don't think I knew you at those points in my career.
No.
I had hope when I met you.
You were telling me the stories of...
Oh, my God. They were like horrendous.
Just dark stories.
Dark
that I was
stories.
like, thank God I didn't know you then, because that would have been pretty... kind of a bummer to be around.
Bummer. I try not to be a bummer. I try to, like, operate this line of, like, I will never be that person who's like, where did they come from? They make it look so easy.
But that's the thing. As two New Yorkers, I don't want to be around fucking hyper positivity. I don't want that energy. I love your shit where the second I see you, I know you'd never lie or bullshit me. Like, I'll look you right in the eye.
I'm incapable.
And that's what I fucking love about you. Yes, and that's why you're so good at comedy. But I do have to say, as a straight person, on Pride Month, actually shit, it was May, but I watched your special, and everyone needs, I'm telling you, you have to watch it. Run and watch it after this. You explained something so fascinating to me, because I'm dumb and did not think about it, of how you were doing cruises during a time. I mean, it was probably a decent gig.
Yes, it was.
Doing these cruises.
Honestly, like, for the downsides of it, the upsides were that I had stable work, stable middle-class work as a comedian.
Yes.
I still couldn't afford to live in New York on that alone. But, like, But
you're doing gigs and there's a clean show. And on the clean show, they said you cannot talk about being gay.
Correct.
So that means you cannot talk about any romantic relationships.
No.
Where the straight comics can talk about dating and kissing. And even hooking up. That's probably fine.
Right, if they do it in a clean way.
So you literally can't talk about anything relationships because you're gay.
There was a point where I was like, do I have anything where I could lie about the gender of the other person and just use, like, it felt... But to me, first of all, me being like, I hooked up with a guy, like, it's going to be so disturbing. I look like this on stage. I'm wearing a backwards baseball cap and a men's t-shirt right now.
It would confuse everyone.
It would have been so uncomfortable for the audience. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the audience is from a homophobic enough area that they hear Butch Dykes just being like, I'm straight. I
the
love
conversion camps where the guy's like, and then I met Emily, and she's my best friend.
I've seen them, and they hurt my... Watching gay people talk about how straight they are now is, like, actually some of the most... I don't know if it hits you the way it hits me, but it makes me cry, like, immediately.
No, it makes me very upset. But then I think that they have, like, a sexual relationship in their head with Jesus. Like, Jesus is hot.
Yes.
They're like, he's my man. I love him.
Put him in my mouth. Let me drink him up.
The blood of Jesus. ASMR. Just pour it on my face.
Blood all over my face, Jesus.
Blood on my face. I'm actually trying to... I haven't worked on it yet, but I thought of a bit about how, like, women should do lesbian conversion camps to just learn about orgasms.
Yes, you should come and work it out at Sunday school. We should have you back.
That was the best show.
When it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
When it's bad, it's a shit show.
But I do remember, like, I was the token straight. Yeah. And I was like, I could pass as gay.
You do. You are queer passing for some reason.
I'm queer passing for some reason. But I knew there would be a moment when I was going to drop one of my corny-ass heterosexual lines with the crowd. But I think they could sense that I didn't choose the life that I live.
And no one does.
I mean, some of you did. You chose to be gay.
I did choose to be gay,
yes.
But I thought really hard about it. And can you imagine, going back to the joke, can you imagine if I were straight? Can you imagine? It'd be a shit show. But that's why I avoided talking about being, like, first of all, I would have to, like, use these fake pronouns for the people I was talking about dating, and I would use they, and it felt so weird, and I felt like I was back in middle school, and I was, like, so uncomfortable, not because... The homophobic voice that I hear in my head is like, well, like, why not just do that if you have other things to talk about? And it's like, actually, I proved that I have so much more to talk about because I did no relationship humor. I mean, I 100%.
Which is insane because my career just started on pretty much purely relationship humor and like napping.
I gotta say, I'm not like super proud of the set. It's not like that that half an hour clean,
but it
no
was
gay.
It was like a writing challenge.
It was like a writing challenge, and there were a couple jokes in there that I was like, I couldn't believe that I made that one clean, interesting, and it worked at this like PG show. There were like a lot of feminist jokes that I was able to make work in that clean
or like
PG
sneaky
show.
feminist.
Yeah, or sometimes just like blatant feminism. I have this men versus women being crazy bit that I've had for a really long time. That worked, and yeah, and then thank you for plugging.
That's why in the special when you're like, I want to date with this guy, and then I just end up eating his pussy. Like it was much better than that, but obviously that was the line.
The joke is, and just so you know, that set is sort of about this process of blowing up on the internet and having to, for a portion of my career, being criticized for how much gay material I did, even though I don't think it was excessive.
Yeah.
But then for another portion of my career, it's like they only want the gay material because I like blew up on the gay portion of the internet.
Wow.
So it's about like just being tokenized in both, feeling that in both directions. And so the set is basically like, okay, I'm going to do a set that has almost nothing to do with being gay for like a really long time. And then you're going to hear the gayest shit you've ever heard in your entire life at the end.
It's also like comedy is about speaking your truth. So it's so funny. It's like, go back in the closet for this set. And you're like, I don't even know who that girl would be.
Yes, yes.
But when you explained like how a male straight comic, when he talks about relationships, jizzing, whatever, that's just him being a comic.
Yeah.
When you talk about your relationships, that's gay shit.
Exactly. Even if
when women talk about their relationships, they're just talking about sex.
Pussy.
So it's like it's those levels where like I'm still above in that where like Hannah's talking about sex, but with you're just making gay jokes that I don't understand.
I do have an advantage, I think, with a pretty sizable chunk of male comedy people, because if you even read on comments like, oh, this woman is actually funny because she's like a dude. That's what men say to me. I have people come up to me and be like, well, "You're not like a woman comic. You're like a comedian." You're like, ugh. Why? Because I like tits.
Actually, you're so fucking right. You're so right. But that's why a lot of women comics going throughout generations have covered their tits and that kind of stuff because they're like, she's a woman, but like not fully woman right now.
They don't want to see you have the power and the charisma and hold power up. Because when you make someone laugh, you are dominating them. You're controlling them. You're bringing out
it's powerful.
An emotion or an involuntary response when they laugh. That's an involuntary response. So for a man to like see your tits and also like you have control over them, that's a lot for some men. Not all men. I know some men love funny women.
Yeah.
And I think you are God's gift to masculinity. Like, thank you for being attracted to powerful women.
Yeah.
But like for a lot of dudes, if they see you as attractive, they want to have the power.
I did a Man on the Street where I actually asked guys like, why do men comment women aren't funny? Because I'm fine with people think this joke was bad, but like, why do you have to then say all women aren't funny when like whatever? And they were saying it was kind of like, you're stealing our jobs. Like it was their thing. So like we're new, like Johnny come lately to this like male dominated field.
Humor is ultimately at the end of the day, as everything is, to get pussy. Like there's like things that we have evolved to do to mate.
Maybe that's why I have reverse body dysmorphia, because I know I'm funny. So I can like get things that like a hot girl could get because I'm funny.
Yeah.
And I've like got it confused in my head. Like I think it's because I'm hot, but it's because I actually have funny. Damn it. Wait, anyway, long story short, I feel like when I was doing some of these jokes on stage, I don't know, I feel this battle where like lesbian comics do have that, like, you're opening the doors for us a little bit.
I hope so, or just like that we're
you don't
all
care what
helping
the men
each other.
think.
Yeah, no, I don't. I do not care. Also, I have total confidence that these men are going to come, whatever they think of me from the photo.
Yeah.
I know if they see me, well, I feel this way about it. Anyone that sees me is going to love my set.
Well, it's like me it's mostly, first of all, it was like 95% women that came to the shows. Then boyfriends started coming, more boyfriends.
Yeah.
And then I started this whole bit of like, okay, there's a little too many straight men here. and that I'm fine as long as they have a chaperone. That's what I say. Because like a guy who's like alone
Alone
with his
straight
friends,
guy.
that's so weird.
With
energy.
his friends, I don't mind. Just one guy alone. I get a lot of one guys alone.
No,
because
absolutely
guys
not.
don't. My male fans, they don't tell people that
They're in the closet for you.
They are, and I just want to if you are a male fan, please tell your friends. Like, please, they're gonna like it too. It's not weird that you like it. It's quite normal that you like it. We have a lot in common.
Yeah.
And just invite your friends.
Yeah. A lot of the time it's like, oh, my boyfriend, he's 38 and like he didn't think he'd connect with you at all, but then he laughed the whole time. And like it's nice, but like you're also like, yeah, he had preconceived notions.
Different people laugh at different things, and that's why it's so important to have a diverse audience.
And I like the tension. But this recently, as I've been getting more straight guys at my shows, this one guy walks in. No, it's really
sounded so like
no,
you were
it's
going
actually like kind
recently with the straight guy.
This has been a thing I've been dealing with. This guy comes in and he's late, and I kind of obviously, and it's like a theater. Like I didn't have to call him out. Like I could have easily ignored him, but I was like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you late? And I never get heckled negatively. Like, it's always positive heckles. Like, it's always girls yelling
shut
shit.
the fuck up, please.
Yelling punchlines, like, because they're excited for it.
Jesus Christ. If you do that to me, I'm gonna shoot it up. I'm going to shoot up the theater.
They want to tell a story that they're excited about. And I love, it's fine. We can deal with that.
You're so nice.
It's never
I'm
mean.
not on my podcast,
No,
so I can say this. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But, like, it's all out of love, and I know that.
It is out of,
but
I will
this
say
guy,
it is out of love.
why are you late? And he goes, yeah, I'm late like your fucking period. In front of, first of all, what does that even mean? Like, what does that mean?
At least congratulate me.
I forget what I said. I think
I'm a married woman. You don't think I want Dez's baby?
I thought of a really good comeback, like, after the show, but during it, for a second, I was like, this has never happened at my show before. The whole crowd got upset. Like, they were gonna, like, stone him. And I think I said something like, yeah, you know about my period because you're 5'6" and you're right at my pussy or something. I said something like, I went a little too far, but, like, there was definitely a better one, like, okay, don't, or I say something like, step back and, like, you know what ovulation is or something. Like, there were just so many things I could do.
I like the idea that he works at a period app. What, are you stealing my data?
It was one of those disses that, like, I didn't fully understand it.
I don't know that it fully
I was like, what?
I don't know that it makes sense. I don't know that it fully makes sense other than that.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Period. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get an abortion like your mom should have. That's what I should have said.
That's what you should have said.
So anyway, those are the three options. But the first one was fine. Everyone laughed. But I remember thinking, like, this has never happened because there's never been a straight man.
I don't know that that's even
show.
a negative heckle. I actually think what he was trying to do was play with you.
He was so.
That's a dude being like, oh, like, I'm riffing with my girl.
So the whole rest of the show, the crowd, like, obviously, like, turned on him. So then I was like, I need to have fun with this.
And he is dead now.
I decided I need to have fun with this because I was like, I don't like the crowd thinking I have beef with this person.
Yeah.
So then I was, I joked about him having a beard and I was going after him about, like, beards. I think I just posted this clip, but how it's like man makeup and like they use 3-in-1.
It is man makeup.
And
yeah,
it's contour. He's
Yeah.
covering his 70 chins, whatever. And then I'm like, you look like a fucking lumberjack. And I was like, what do you do for a living? And he goes, I'm a lumberjack. And he actually was. So then we like made friends and it was good. But anyway, it's a different tension. But I talk about you. I talk about you in my set because I have that question.
Yes.
I started doing. From you, you've made me, sorry, this is all about me now. I've realized
It's your podcast.
how heteronormative
You're not.
my set is. Because it's coming from my perspective.
Maybe.
I have a thing where I say, sex is not as good as society makes it seem. But I've had enough lesbians come to the show and call out, not for lesbians, that I've had to start addressing it. And then it's become part of the bit where I go, except for lesbians. Because it's not, I can't speak for that.
If there is a man, and you can use this in your bit, if there is a man involved, if you look at the sexual satisfaction charts,
You love
lesbians
a chart.
have the highest, I do love a chart.
You love a chart.
Lesbians have the highest level of satisfaction from sex.
Mm-hmm.
Gay men the least. Because it's like a quantity versus quality situation. The more men you inject into a situation, the quicker it's going to go. They're trying to bang them out.
Yeah.
So there's a stereotype. And this data reflects that stereotype, so I apologize.
Yeah,
but
don't
there's
apologize.
there's a stereotype, that men, and I do think it's true, knowing my gay male friends to a degree, not all of them, obviously, they're like, they hook up fast.
Yes, like in stairwells.
It like, very quickly. So, like, of course, that sex is not going to be as good as lesbian sex, where the women have fallen in love over the course of 3 days. They've spent
and 700 orgasms.
700. They haven't spoken to anyone else. They adopted a cat together. They've talked about their love languages. They know everything. They know exactly where the clit is. Like, I'm not talking about the generic location of the clit. I'm talking like 2 millimeters to the left, off center. Yeah. Like, they know. Yes. So they're having really good sex. It takes longer.
So that makes me mad because people are like, lesbians always get a U-Haul. Anyone would get a U-Haul if that person made you come 800 times. Like, that's stupid to not get a U-Haul. What, you're going to kick them out? That's insane.
Do you do that in the bit?
No.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Stop making fun of lesbians for U-Hauling. They're coming. They've got so much oxytocin and dopamine in their brain. They're not making good decisions. How do you call a
U-Haul in between all the orgasms? It's insane. I'm fascinated by it, but
you will pack up a couch for cum.
Yes. Yes. We'll pick a sofa easily. We'll take yours. I think that you've gotten a lot of swag recently.
Thank you so much.
You really have. I think you've always had swag, but I feel like enough people externally were like, "Oh, we see you for you and we love it," that you were just like, "Oh," like you kind of, I feel like, lost some just worries about you.
I feel mentally I'm doing better. I struggle with like a scarcity sort of fear. Mm-hmm. You know, I lost my dad when I was a kid. Yeah. It affected my mother, and it affected like my family in a pretty massive way, where it wasn't just like the loss of my dad. It was like a lot of other cascading loss. So like I have a pretty big, and that does something. When you're 11, I was 11. That does something to the development of your mind.
Yes.
So I have a little bit of like how is this going to go wrong?
Yes.
How am I going to lose all of this? And I'm constantly having to adjust and be like, this isn't going anywhere, Ashley. Like, it's okay. Like, it's a little bit of...
Catastrophizing is what they call. Yes. My therapist called it.
Yeah, and I think it's like, that's like a generic. For me, it's like specifically like, oh, I'm doing theaters right now, but how long could that possibly last?
Yeah.
People are going to come and hate the show, and they're never going to come back.
But it kind of makes sense when catastrophes have happened to you at such a like really influential age.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, if A plus B equals C, why wouldn't it continue being C?
Right, exactly.
It makes sense completely.
Yeah. So there's a lot, but I think what I practice meditation. I do it every day. And so I try to be mindful. And I think part of that was honestly just being like, you can afford a couple nice sets of pants.
Yes.
You can afford like, and when I say afford, I'm not talking like, I'm talking like
you can buy something for yourself.
Above H&M and Zara.
Yes. Well, me and you are very similar. Where like we love the like in the weeds, working hard, almost like a chip on our shoulder. Like I love that shit. And the second something good happens, and you're like, what are people supposed to do now?
Right, exactly. I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, and then I'm just sitting on shit because I'm like, this could all be taken away.
Yes.
And I might be back on Carnival.
And you don't want to be looking back at this fake regret of like, I shouldn't have bought all those pants because now I'm homeless. You know?
Exactly.
When it's like, why did we go to catastrophizing?
I realized the other day I didn't have like, I have my stage. I started with my stage stuff because it was easier to write off. Mm-hmm. And also like, I felt like, oh, that's for work. So I got clothes, a couple new pairs of pants, a couple new shirts for just being on stage. But then I realized that, I don't have anything to go on dates with my girlfriend. Like I look like I do on stage when I go on dates. So I look like what I say in my set, a middle school fuckboy, just like at a nice restaurant with my girlfriend. I know. I would say this is more staged than anything. But
you become comfortable with like being uncomfortable, and then the second you're not uncomfortable, you're like, ooh, this is actually uncomfortable. That was wordy, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So it's something I actively work on to try and just like let myself have a little more freedom. And I've worked so, I don't know that people really know me, but I promise you I've worked really hard for a really long time. Like this vacation is the first 2-week vacation that I've taken, and it's a privilege to have that length of time to do something, but it's the first vacation longer than 5 days that I've taken in over 10 years.
Wow.
So I'm like really excited to do it.
Do you think
and
you're going to get
a lot?
Do you think you're going to get antsy at all?
No. You've
set it up.
I've set it up. I have a new person working on my social media clips. We've been talking about it. We're just going to have the clips ready to go. I'm going to schedule them before I leave. Yeah. I'm not touching my phone.
I recently just came back from like my first long trip, and I remember the girl who helps me with stuff was like, just remember, you're not going to lose relevance in a week. And I was like, whoa, who said that? And then I was like, okay, you're right. I was thinking that. But it's
a week's not long enough.
But actually, people like loved my Paris content. And that was just me having fun. Because at the end of the day, you know what I love to do is create content.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and I don't want to be that Instagram girlfriend. But I'm like, it's pretty funny if I took a photo of the statue and made fun of it. Because that's what I enjoy.
For sure.
And not with the pressure of
and
like,
honestly,
if I don't post this, people will forget me.
This isn't everybody. I just burped. I don't know if you got that in the
liked
audio.
it.
But
yeah.
Your fans are excited for you.
Yeah.
There are people out there who are like, fuck yeah, like go to Paris. Like that's so
They can
awesome.
sense when you're burnt out, I feel like.
Yeah. I've been thinking like, this balance of like authenticity, but also the effortless and the, I got kind of like a mean comment the other day. Like I've had some frustration around the internet lately. Like the bigger you get, the more stuff you're going to see that isn't really true or takes like a little thing and like makes it really huge. And I think like I got some flack for like talking about it. Like it's interesting because if I talk about being gay or like my chronic pain or like my relationships or like therapy or whatever, people are like, yes, I can relate to this. But when I'm talking about struggling as a creator, it makes certain people uncomfortable because I think they're like, well, I support you. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I'm kind of trying to figure out as a creator, like, how much of that do I actually want to show?
Yeah. You decide. My thing is I'm fortunate to be with someone who has been in the industry for a long time and has experienced a lot more things than me. And he's puts the hammer down when it comes to I'm not allowed to look at comments. And I haven't been allowed for like, I say I'm not because I'm scared because if I see something that I don't want to see and then I tell him, he's like, he's not going to be like, oh, I feel bad to go see, look at the comments. And and at first I was like, this guy's being so annoying. Like, he doesn't empathize with me. He saved my life.
Yeah,
it saved my life. And
he's helping enforce a boundary that he knows is correct. And
if I didn't have him there, because the second a comment hinders your creativity, they win. The second you're like, oh, I don't want to post this because of that thing that person said last week, they win.
I know. It's interesting, though, because sometimes I learn. With my fan base, I have learned a lot because it is such a specific I'm specifically speaking to my podcast.
Yeah, I'm not speaking podcasts. Those are the real ones. Like, people listen to this, they're the real ones.
It's the people that are like,
a clip goes viral and you get shit that you shouldn't hear.
That's fine. If someone wants to tell me I'm not funny, if they're not close to the content, that's fine. But when a fan says something like, the way you plugged the Patreon was negative, that's something that I'm like, is there anything to be learned here? Because I'm on your side of it. I'm like, I do want to expose parts of like my artistic. For the young artists out there, I actually think it's quite important to discuss some of like the shit that I have going on that I'm dealing with.
Yes.
But then again, you get a comment like that, you're like, am I putting people off? Am I being too negative?
I think you're right. It is nuanced where when you're getting feedback from people who are like real ones.
Oh, this was not feedback. This was a and I actually said that to them. I was like, if you have feedback, here's how you do it. If you feel close enough to me that you are irked by the way I did something, then you should have the decency to contact me in a way that feels like you are close to me. You would never speak this way to a friend.
I feel like you can see when people have been in the comments too much. Like, you ever see someone whose career is going really well and you go up to them and they're like, yeah, it's just tough out here. And you're like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, you've been reading your comments.
That's me.
You need to stop.
Okay.
Because at what point, what do these people know about who you are that they're going to tell you? Like, in the beginning, I get that.
And it almost explodes.
You're going to get to a point where the comments are, like, the positive and negatives are just, it outweighs itself.
I think one of the things that's hard for me about it is that I thrive off of audience feedback. I'm a good comic because I'm objective about what I'm hearing in the room. I feel the discomfort.
But
I see their faces.
That's different than keyboard people.
I know.
Being assholes.
I know. But my brain is like so wired towards that feedback and understanding and like the live experience. Like,
it's a lot of people see things through a lens of like their own experiences that doesn't actually help you.
I know.
You know?
But yes, exactly. You're like, I know they were having a hard day. I think the thing that I'm going is, okay, if they're feeling that, what about the 80% of people who are like pretty more normal, would never leave a comment, or watching this? Do they identify with that comment at all?
Well, it's like, like you wear a sweater and, you post, you're like, do you guys like this outfit? You see the wide range of responses. That's just being human. That's just people having reactions. But you can't tailor every sentence to, like, make everyone happy.
Tell that to the queer community, please.
I know, I'm an ally. The queer community can do anything they want.
One of my favorite, well, I have not done this, but, like, when I say a sentence that I can feel the queer community going, feels exclusionary, even though it's about my fucking experience as a human being, I want to then throw in, like, just to be annoying, I just want to throw in, like, you forgot about intersex people. Because people will like nitpick what you excluded, but if you really wanted to take this to its logical extreme, well, what about asexual people? What about intersex people? What about someone without a kneecap? Like, it just.
I love the way you make fun of white girls. I love it so much.
White girls.
I feel like you have those moments where you're like, I heard all the white girls
about
get
race. White lesbians. You cannot talk about race. You cannot do it. Because they are so anti-racist and also have never met a black person. I have no idea how these folks have never spoken to black people and are also like, I am black people's greatest champion. It is such a, it's like because they know that they don't want to be racist, but they have literally, I grew up in New York City, so I feel so comfortable with so many experiences. Yes. Obviously not like all of them. New York certainly has like communities that are more present than others. But when it comes to race, like, I feel
it's like how Colin Quinn talks about it. He's like, they are there. I'm not saying I don't see color, that kind of shit.
Exactly. Like, I feel like I've had so many of these conversations, not that I'm better than other people, but like talking about race does not make me super uncomfortable.
You'd be different if you grew up in Wisconsin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then those Wisconsin gays
who moved
to New York so that they can come out as non-binary, and that's wonderful. But then as soon as you make a joke, that's anti-racist. I'll do anti-racist jokes. I have this joke right now about abortion rights and how they're making exceptions for rape and incest. Thank you so much. You know what you have to do to get a rape exception in some states? You have to go to the cops and file a report about your rape. And then that file is in the hands of that cop. Have cops traditionally been the best people with life and death decisions? So the joke that I make is tell them the baby's black. They'll get the abortion immediately. And what this does to when I say that to lesbians, they're like, ah! They're like, I want abortion of the race. Like, yeah.
So there's stereotypes of, like the woke culture. And I went to your Sunday school, which is mostly queer people in the audience. Can you say
Why
that?
would you? Yes, of course.
Okay. the way I was like, oh fuck, did I say that?
No. I know the straights are just figuring out that we've reclaimed queer. They just found out about this. It's been like 8 years, 9, 10 years. The process of reclaiming queer probably started in like the late 2000s, maybe even earlier.
So the queers are out and about, and they're having fun at your show. So I think this is going to be like the most woke show ever. And you stand up there.
Oh, yeah, I opened the show.
She yells down their throats and calls them all out on every like hypocritical, hilarious bit that you could think of. And I'm like, this is hysterical. And I think it's because you were forced to grow up in New York City, in this stand-up culture that was so like, you just gotta be a comic, And you've taken those skills and used it with your like woke knowledge to make people think.
You're describing like what my dream is.
No,
as a
it's
comedian.
incredible because it's so easy to pander.
I think it's disgusting.
And you hate pandering.
I hate it.
And I love the fact that you start and people look at you and you're like, okay, let's go hear her, hate on some conservatives. And then you twist it in so many different ways that by the end you're like, am I Republican? I'm just kidding. But it's like you're not obvious with your directions. And I think it makes your fans realize like how fucking smart you are.
Oh, thank you.
Because you are incredibly like, I mean, I don't want to say the word woke. Is that bad? Is woke bad?
I think it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah, but ultimately, like, you make everyone look at things differently to ultimately, like, understand each other more.
My comedic perspective is that, first of all, I want people who never thought that they would come and see me, or maybe they do, maybe they just love comedy, but I want someone, I want you to come to a show and be like, oh, holy shit, I didn't think I was going to hear her say that.
Yeah.
And not like in a shock value way, not like that I just say something that I don't believe.
Yeah.
But like I'll say, one of my favorite opening jokes from that section is like, I miss straight men so much. If there's like a straight guy because they laugh so hard, like I'll suck your dick immediately, sir. Like I'll be straight for this show.
Yeah.
But then I'll twist it and I'll say, and they laugh at everything because they have no trauma.
Yes.
They're just very free.
Yes.
So like, and
so
that
good.
is a joke that is like, it's not shitting on men and it's not shitting on lesbians. It's just sort of like, it's shitting on everyone, really.
Yeah. It's shitting on with truths.
Yeah. So like, not that I'm purposefully doing that, but I want everyone in the room to be like, I both disagreed and agreed with her vehemently at the same time.
Exactly. And I think also, like, it's different when, like, a straight white guy, like, makes fun of woke people because of where it's coming from. It's like, are you mad?
Because they're, like, lamenting. Like, woke culture only benefits me.
Yes.
Like, people taking me seriously only benefits me. But, like, also, like, calm down.
But to have woke people laugh at you making fun of wokeness brings people together, if that makes sense.
Because I think they need to be released too.
There's a self-awareness.
Everyone is so
scared. Yes.
Especially on the liberal side of things, people are so... we're cyborgs now.
Yes.
A lot of these people have grown up so on their phones that when we were growing up, you had a different persona on the internet. In fact, it was not necessarily linked to your identity because we didn't really have social media. We had like blogs and Tumblr and like things like that where
MySpace.
Instant message where it wasn't entirely clear who this person was posting these thoughts on the internet.
We were exploring our identities and personalities.
Now it's like everything you say can be dug up and used against you. And I really do think
and
that...
define you.
And it's not separate from who you are in real life. And I think that sort of comment thread culture is present in comedy clubs where people are like, can I laugh at that? What's the person next to me gonna I see people whiplash turn to their neighbors after certain jokes that I do that are anti-sexist, anti-racist, anti-this, anti-that, but they're like, oh my God, can I laugh at that? Because she said...
And you love it.
Oh, yeah. And then I scream at them.
Yes. But what's crazy is you, as one of the most popular lesbian comedians in the world right now. Let's just say it. It's true. I remember the moment where I was like, oh shit, people are listening to me. There's like a power with it where you're like, oh, I can affect things by how I talk. And the fact that you are a lesbian comic who's gone through similar traumas that other lesbians have, who has dealt with like horrible shit, and then to make fun of it, like that's a power you have. Like I can't speak in the same way that you can because I haven't dealt with like homophobia and shit like that. But you can make fun of it because you've been there, and then you could twist it around because you've been there. Like you have a power in that.
Yeah, I mean, any darkness that you can make lighter is pain release. That's another thing about people who don't attend a lot of comedy, particularly on the woke or more liberal side of thing. I don't think people realize how much pain release is happening. You're like creating space to let go of some of the darkness that you have around a topic. Like when you make a joke like what I was saying about the cops, that's like an opportunity for you to be like, there's like a hopelessness and a helplessness in the world right now. I think people are realizing these systems are so massive. Like, how can I actually do anything about them? And comedy gives you an opportunity to release a little bit of that. Not to let go of it, like go out there, vote, like be politically active.
Yeah.
This is a reminder to do that. But also, it doesn't have to be so dark inside of you all the time.
And you know, a lot of these maybe like lesbians are going to brunch with their friends and like saying everything they think they should say. So you're like that lesbian friend at brunch that's like, let's talk for real.
Yeah,
Let's call some things out and let's like have a conversation.
Because it's just so, particularly with queer people, the bar is higher. Yeah. Like, we're really hard on each other. We're really hard on queer creators. For everything that you say, like, there's always like, what about this? And it's like, okay.
Like, you're holding each other accountable.
Yeah. Because people like ask me, this is like, if you had to like sleep with a guy, because I've never slept with a man. I've never hooked up with a man. I kissed a boy in the 7th grade. But I actually think that I would go, I'm into femininity, and I love, like, you know, just very feminine women I tend to go for. I think that I would do the opposite. I think I'd go for, like...
You want to get manhandled?
No. Oh, my God.
Did you just gag? Do you throw up in your mouth right now?
I don't know. I think I'd just rather have the opposite. I don't know what I want, because thinking about having sex with a man makes me like a little uncomfortable.
As most of us.
Yeah. So, but I think most people are like, oh, would you want like some twinky little guy, like a Timothy Chalamet? I think I actually need to go the total opposite.
What about Channing Tatum? Because he's like pretty.
He is. Yeah, I get. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I was more thinking like a lumberjack.
Oh.
Like more like
I know, who's Aquaman?
Yeah, like that type of dude. Or he doesn't even have to be
Jason
in good
Momoa.
shape. I would prefer it if he smelled nice.
I love
Women
how you just
smell so nice.
Yeah.
They smell really good.
Yeah.
I don't know about how men smell. I don't
You're
smell
like,
them
when
as
I'm
often.
around them, I just kind of...
Well, sometimes y'all get like a whiff of like a cologne.
See, I think cologne smells so good. Like,
yeah, because
women should wear cologne
because you're
more.
straight.
Yeah.
That's like, you are attracted to males. Like, when I smell like perfume, I'm done. Like, I'm instantly like, where? You know, like,
I have a question for you. So I'm currently in this difficult thing with my husband.
This took a turn.
where
I'm currently in a difficult situation with my husband.
We want to start watching porn together, but obviously it's hard.
That's fun.
It's hard with like comics, because like the second you put it on, you know both our minds are going, and you could like he's gonna say
guys just
like
start laughing.
It's just immediate, like, because porn is
Pizza
funny.
delivery.
Porn is
Classic.
funny. Yes. So then, but then he's like, no, find something. But immediately, I think, first of all, I'm like,
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Does he want to watch women?
I think so.
Do you? I guess that was a really weird question. I should have phrased it towards you. Would you? Because I know your porn preferences from doing the podcast.
I prefer watching women.
Yeah.
But first of all, I feel weird that like I enjoy watching these women with him.
No, you're self-actualizing.
Yes. And then 2, if I think the girl's hot, I suddenly get jealous if he thinks the girl's hot.
You got to drop that. That is what's gonna.
The fact that he's like getting off watching, and I'm watching him watch a girl.
The hot part is you. You're the hot part. I mean, that's like hot, but the really hot part is you. I've tried watching porn with my girlfriend. It's like not for us.
Why?
Just didn't work. Like, it just, because I don't super love porn to begin with. She's more of a porn head than I am.
Because Paige told me, just remember, like, the guys just see, like,
yes,
they don't even, like, I need a story.
Jen is more like that. Jen can see the boobies and just, like, get turned on.
Yeah.
Whereas this is really funny. She's so feminine, you wouldn't think it. But I'm like, I would rather, like, listen to an audio.
You're so gay.
I would rather listen to an audio, like, no, I think this is actually very feminine.
I know, but I feel like it's given, like, you need a spoken word, like, while eating an oat milk
latte. I'm so turned on by this latte.
I do think it gets like mental with me, but also if there's a guy in it, I'm very aware of the girl because I'm self-actualizing where I'm like, is she feel safe? Is she enjoying this? Is she creeped out by him? Do we not like he said that? Did she not like that? Like, I'm all in my head with that. So if you just go
You're
to
like the lesbians at a comedy show.
Yes. I'm like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I feel triggered by. I get so triggered in porn.
It's not even that you don't feel safe. You're like, does everyone around me feel safe?
Yeah.
Because I feel safe,
Like,
but if you
I
guys
was
aren't
gonna
safe,
laugh,
I'm not
but
safe.
I can't laugh if you're not
Yeah,
laughing.
exactly.
That's like if I go to a strip club, immediately I'm like, does she want to be here? Is she okay? And someone's like, just give her your fucking money, bitch. And I'm like, I don't know if I don't want her to feel like I'm.
I have trouble at strip clubs too. I wonder if it's
I'm
similar.
in my head. I
get
think we
really
overthink.
anxious.
We're overthinkers.
But you know what what I'm about to say is so male, and I'll get back to your porn in a second. A lot of strippers are queer, is what I've learned over the past year. My friend is like a stripper, and so she invited me to her. I hooked up with her.
Why? No one forced you to say that. You're like, fine. I fucked her. Fine.
Before she was dancing, I had like a little fling with her. She invited me and my girlfriend and my buddy Lucas after I taped
Lucas straight?
Yeah, Lucas is straight.
I'm very confused by that friendship, but continue.
He and I are the same person in two very different bodies.
Okay. Because I was like, is he in the closet? What's going on?
No.
Yeah.
He's kind of like you. He's like one of the biggest allies that I know.
Okay, so he's coming for my brand. Continue.
But we all went to the strip club that she worked at, and everyone recognized me. Every single one of those girls was like, are you?
Wait, so you were like P. Diddy at the strip club?
I just was lesbian.
Raining on those hoes.
But I felt so uncomfortable about it because unlike a dude, I was like, are you guys like okay?
Like someone was like, throw a 1 at her, and I'm like, I'm not throwing a 1 at her.
It's so disrespectful.
That's so degrading.
Yes, exactly.
I don't like
that. But this
that.
is their job, and they actually.
Or they like, they were like, they're mad if you don't.
Exactly.
Like, because I'm new to the situation, like they're numb to it.
When I just got there, a stripper came up to me and was doing her job, and I just told her straight up. I was like, it's too early in the night. I am not comfortable yet.
Yeah.
Please don't waste your time. Go like find someone, because I'm just gonna order French fries and kind of overthink for a while.
I had one. Yeah, I need to like stew over this.
$50 French fries and like kind of.
I need to rethink every interaction I had the last 10 minutes because I'm overstimulated right now. I had one lap dance. I was not doing sales, and all these sales guys like bought me a lap dance with this girl, and she was like on me, and the whole time I was just like, girly, like if. What do you want me to do? Like, I literally was like, how can I make this more fun for you? Because you have a long night ahead of you, and this is not for me. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, and they're like, touch your boob. And I'm like, I did not ask. Like, I need to ask her. Like, this is weird.
Touch your boob. No. You're not supposed to touch them.
No.
But I will say they are more comfortable, it seems, and from what I've heard.
With women.
Because
she was like talking. She was having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But at first I came in very like, is this okay?
Right, but not many guys are doing that.
So you're saying more women should go to strip clubs because it's just fun for the girlies?
Yes, I think so. It's also like dark and loud, and I don't drink, so I'm not the best in that environment.
Yeah.
But why did I come all the way here for this?
You were talking about she invited you and Jen. You were just bragging about threesomes?
No, we didn't have nothing like that happened. I think a lot of strippers are queer. I don't remember.
Oh, no, it's because we were talking about like girls to guys, but also I want to know, is it worth it getting back with your ex?
Is it worth it getting back with my ex? That could have been phrased so many different ways. That was the worst. No, I hate her.
No, I try to, like those Cosmopolitan magazines where they're like, should you get back with your ex? Is it worth it? Like, I was trying to be like.
Got it.
Like, clickbaity.
I think it was clickbaity. You clickbaited me, and I got angry, and I was like, fuck these comics.
No, I clickbaited you.
You clickbaited me. I dated this woman a few years ago. She's 8 years younger than I'm 35. She's 27. She's 8 years younger than I am. When we started dating, she was 24 and made it very clear. She was like, I really like you, but like, I'm not ready where you are. And I was like, I had said to her, I was like, look, I really only want to date seriously someone who's ready for marriage.
I really just want to be in an open relationship with you.
Well, we weren't in an open relationship at that time. At that time, it was closed. The pandemic hit. We had fallen in love, and we were like, fuck it. Like, why are we going to break up? This is such a wonderful relationship. It's pandemic. Like, let's just see where this goes. And it was the most beautiful, perfect relationship I'd ever been in. I loved her so much, but I knew what was coming. She knew what was coming. And so at the end, kind of like when the pandemic started to like, open up, she was like, I still am really looking to explore my sexuality and like, like have my 20s and stuff like that.
Is that what you call a gaby?
Yeah, she was like a little gaby.
Yeah.
She's bi. And so I was like, yeah, get out of here. Like, like go
out there.
Be in the world, kid, and that kind of thing. That sounds like.
But that was very mature of you to like let her go.
Well, she has free will.
I mean,
one of the things I love about my girlfriend is her autonomy and her free will. Yeah, I did not.
You unlocked the basement door.
Had no malice or anger.
Yeah.
Towards that. She was super clear about it. Yeah. I understood it.
Yeah.
I was super clear about my boundaries. She respected them and told me that she was not ready for marriage.
Wow, this is so not a straight relationship. Continue.
Well, I've also I've had.
He's
some
not.
Are you watching the queer? You want to see some fucked up shit in the queer world? Watch the Queer Ultimatum. Holy shit. My God.
People are saying I look like one of the girls who happens to be toxic.
No,
Veronica
you don't look like anybody. No, you do not look like that woman.
Okay, I've gotten multiple messages, and they said she's not getting good at it either.
Well, let me tell you this. The edit that you got in reality TV was very clearly fake. This woman is doing things in one shot.
There's no
I want to be clear. If someone's like, I got a bad edit, watch the shots. Watch them. Are the words coming out of her mouth in real time without cuts, looking away, the audio comes from somewhere else? She did that. There's a difference between an edit and an unhinged individual.
But there's also context. Like, what is she reacting to? Did she actually react to the right things and stuff?
She was at a table, mouthing. She was going, fuck off. Like, under her breath to her partner. I don't care what is happening at the table.
Yeah.
That is, you just don't do that.
Going into reality TV with a partner, holy shit. Like, you're putting both of you out there, and you have to have let's not embarrass each other. Let's respect each other at the end of the day, no matter how much we get pushed to have conflict.
She said, I love you to her partner, and then said, say it back. You're telling me that's a bad edit? That's not a bad edit. They didn't clip that in from another portion of the conversation.
Maybe earlier the girl said, tell me I love you and I'll say it back. And then she said it and the girl didn't say it.
No.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
There's literally no way. Watch it.
Yeah,
watch it.
It's okay. I can't. I'm too traumatized.
She's
It'll be triggering.
So crazy.
It'll be triggering.
Excuse me. I'm sorry I said she was crazy.
So now
So then when we got back together, well, we were still in love.
Yeah.
We never fell out of love. We took like a year and a half long break. And we saw each other once over that period of time. Mm-hmm. Love was very much there. She was like, I wanted to like hook up with her. She was like, no, I'm just still not ready. So like, let's not do that. But then a few months went by and we got dinner again. And this time we had a slip up and we didn't have sex, but we hooked up and that was funny.
Well, every straight man got very confused when you just said that. We didn't have sex, but we did hook up. He's very confused.
I would say there was no genital contact with fingers or mouths, so I would say...
Okay, yeah.
I don't know,
that makes sense.
It was pretty...
Second base.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
you felt...
It was there, and then... But she was like, I'm still not ready, and I don't want to lead you on. And I was like, okay, well,
Honestly, this is hot. The amount that she's like...
I know, God.
That's hot.
The longing.
I'm sold. I want to date her now.
I know. She's such a clear communicator. And I was like, let's do this. I don't want to see you that often because it's too much for me, but I would like to see you. And also, I'm gonna seriously date other people. And if someone comes along, I'm gonna tell you. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, this is your last window here. Because I loved her very much, and I wanted her to know how serious I was. And I wanted to be open because it felt like, open as a communicator, because it felt like it might have been going back, but I didn't want to go back into it and have the same result.
Yeah.
I wanted her to know that I was seriously looking for marriage. So I was, like, dating these other people, and then the hookups, like, increased in frequency, and all of a sudden we were planning a vacation. And so I straight up said to her, I was like, we can keep going down this road, but I need to know now, am I a person that you can see yourself spending the rest of your life? And is that something you're going to be ready to do within a reasonable time frame, like the next few years. And she was like, yes, I think that's what this is going to be. And, you know, we kept talking through it and we were like, should we keep it open? And that's how I got into the open relationship, because we were easing back into our relation. Not because I ever thought I'd be in an open relationship or saw that for myself or her, but it was just like, we were already doing it. So we were like, and she was already feeling like, I'm a Sagittarius, I want to be free.
So you were defining the situation that you happened to fall into.
Yeah. And so, and also like, I'm on the road all the time, and you know, like sometimes I'll meet people on the road and that's fun. So we were basically like, let's just keep it open. Like no dating other people, like no relationships with other people, no serious dating.
But as a lesbian, the stereotype is you hook up once, you have 400 orgasms, you fall in love.
I am quite good at being so upfront about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So if I go into a hookup, I'm like, I'm in an open relationship. I don't date other people. You know, don't develop feelings with other people. It's just like hooking up and fun. Are you okay with that?
It's so funny because straight people, I think, really have trouble pulling off open relationships, or it's like really not an option that often.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's more present in the queer community, particularly with men. I think lesbians are starting to adopt it.
What do you think are the benefits to an open relationship?
I mean, like, you kind of make jealousy small. The thing that I think is interesting with jealousy, it's not like I don't feel it's not like she told me the other day that, and she was like, we were talking about eating pussy from the back.
As one does.
I love that. Doing that. She had mentioned in one of her hookups that had happened. I don't know how we got there, but I was like, I did not know that. Give me a name. Like, just like.
Jessica.
Male name.
Oh, Steven.
Steven. Perfect. Because you're not like, I was like, I did not know that Steven was like throwing down. Steven is eating your pussy from the back? Like, I didn't know that.
You're like, I know I had to compete with Steven.
I mean, I was not aware that Steven was putting the moves. His face is in your fucking ass. Like, I didn't know that Steven on these hookups was like putting in the work.
I thought he was coming in 20 seconds.
Right, that's what I thought.
And falling asleep and twitching.
That's what I thought. And I had like a little bit of jealousy, but I had like.
You were impressed?
I was impressed. Yeah, I was like, okay. I think what it does is like, when you open up a conversation, we do not go into the nitty-gritty details. Like, I don't want to know. I don't need to flare my jealousy up for no reason. This is something she is allowed to do. These are things that I am doing. Why flare it up when we've, like, agreed to these, like, guidelines?
Yeah.
But I will say, like, it makes it so much less, like, what you're talking about with porn.
Yeah.
I don't see her desire as something that I need to get riled up about. I see it as just like a normal thing that she has.
Does it even turn you on a little?
A little bit. When I found that out, I was like, this is hot that I'm feeling like I want to step up my game for this particular evening.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You're not like, oh, she enjoyed something with someone else. You go, oh, we can enhance this moment.
Exactly. And I also feel like there's so many different pieces of it. I think the communication is the biggest one. Like, I have never been in a relationship where I'm so honest with someone in a kind way, and someone is so honest with me in a kind way.
I also love how you guys have gone through, like, a lot of different stages of your relationship, and, like, that's what strength is in a relationship.
Totally.
It's not two people just being like, we never fight, we never did anything. It's like, no, we battled shit.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have, like, toxic fighting. We, of course, have had, like, arguments or what, discussions, I guess, is
debates,
like more the thing. But, like, she and I, like, don't, like, get riled up at each other.
Well,
we really
you have to be good at fighting.
Yeah, exactly. We really discuss and sit down. And when you are able to be honest with a partner about, like, attraction towards someone, or, like, you know, maybe she introduces, like, a new she's like, hey, I met someone, I'm going to go on a date with them. How are you feeling about that? And I'll ask my questions if I have any questions. Like, when you're able to talk about that, for some reason you're able to talk, it makes every other thing in your relationship so much easier to talk about.
That's really interesting. And do you have to tell each other every time there's a new person?
I think...
Is there a rule?
I think the way we look at it is, yeah, I wouldn't say that's necessary, but like if something out of the ordinary happens, we tell each other. If I hook up on the road, she knows that happens.
But you don't have to be like, hey, I hooked up with someone last night.
Yeah. If I'm like going on a date in New York City, that's like not something I usually do.
Yeah.
That's something I would tell her about.
Yeah.
I think if she saw the same person like twice in a week, that's something she tells me about.
But the date is for a hookup.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I really
She doesn't really do
someone.
dates, but I'm seeing women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so you have to court a
Yeah.
little.
It's a little bit. If it's in New York, we're going to go on a date.
Yeah.
But if it's on the road, it's a little more like, do you want to?
So you kind of tell yourself, like, I'm her person, and she's enjoying sex with other people.
I try not to think about the sex she's having with other people because I know how hot she is.
Yeah.
So, you know, like I you know, that's not.
Also, I'm actually not a jealous person.
Really?
As in, like, I want people to want my man.
Yes.
But
totally.
I like when I'm jealous if he's like, wow, that girl was really funny and great energy to be around. I'd be like, divorce!
That woman was powerful.
I get jealous over weirder things. Like if he's like, oh yeah, that girl's like really pretty. I'm like, yeah, but she can't play tennis, so seeing her on the tennis court. Embarrassing.
That'd be funny, like you challenging a woman to a duel and it's just tennis. I think like I do love that about her. I love other people like looking at her. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's a line where it gets easier. There are things that like I've been challenged about and like then like had to mull over and be like, this is actually fine. Like calm the fuck down. But like, I think ultimately it's made the relationship like really, really strong. But because of the trust and the communication.
Yeah.
I have so much trust in her. I know she would never, ever jeopardize like our relationship. Mm-hmm. And it just takes away the boogeyman. Like I met a woman on the road. I talked about this in my recent podcast that I haven't had like an instantaneous spark with someone in a very long time, but I had like
I'm jealous for her right now.
That is a phrase that you're like, even in an open relationship, you're like, that's
a spark? Absolutely not. I got sick.
Yeah,
I just got sick in my butthole.
Well, I didn't know I was going to feel this way. I thought I was just hooking up with a woman after a show.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me that I was like, oh, I like this person.
You got a little butterfly.
And I instantly, as soon as I got back, I was like, I have to tell Jen because this was out of the ordinary. This is something that might have made her uncomfortable.
So how do you cope?
Well, I told her and I
She murdered her?
She is dead now. Well, I told her and I like wept. I cried because I felt guilty. That is not something you can control.
But that's the thing. That's why people aren't in open relationships, so they don't accidentally find themselves getting a spark while someone's eating them out. Like, that's the whole point of not being in an open relationship.
Right. So then I told her.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No. Play it. We'll see this situation through. I told her, and she was like, look, I don't love hearing that happened, but it would be insane for me to think that I'm the only person that you could ever feel a spark with. And it took out the demon. If you met someone that you had a spark with in a closed relationship, you might be thinking about that guy for a while.
Yeah. And like, what could have been. What his dick is
like this whole fantasy in your fucking brain.
Which is dangerous.
And as soon as I talked to Jen about it, it like took the boogeyman out of it. I was like, this woman trusts me so much. Like, I will never jeopardize this relationship. And she won't either.
So then it's like you don't talk to that person anymore.
What I did was I had a conversation with that person, and I was like, "Hey, like, we obviously had like a connection, and I do feel like I can see you again, but like I can't treat this like a relationship. Yes. And while that spark happened, like, you know, I'm not gonna be texting you every day. I'm not gonna be like none of the things that I think tend to follow a spark are like gonna happen.
Yeah, that's so right, because when you meet people, like you either hit it off or you don't. Yeah. Like I joke, like I was married the first time I met Dennis. Like we're married.
And then there's a path.
Yes.
That almost 90% of us follow when you have that feeling. And when you're in an open relationship and you're communicating, it's like I almost like it took all of the heavy weight off of that path.
Yes.
And now I can like go my own direction.
And you're also self-aware that you're like, I'm going to have sparks with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think the way to prevent.
And this is how you squish it.
That's how you squish it.
When it's closed. Yes. That's when
it becomes naughty.
Then it becomes naughty.
It's naughty. It's hot.
And then you're like all of a sudden you're having an emotional affair.
Yes. Which is honestly so much worse. What we've concluded.
Yes.
Then if I would rather, like the guy I'm with to fuck someone and be like, yeah, it was hot, but like I would never spend a dinner with her.
Right. Exactly.
It goes back to what I said about him being like, there was a spark.
Right, exactly. And then you're like, what are the rules? Am I allowed to flirt with this person?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to like be friends with this person? And then you're building an emotional affair. Yeah. Whereas what having that conversation with Jen did for me is it took the air out of it.
Yes. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I've met people too that I'm like, they're fun to be around, but it's like we haven't done the work that me and you have done to establish this.
And then it comes full circle where you're like, holy shit. Doing the work and like being in love with this person is the thing that I want every day.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I like treasure. The fact that this person like trusts me so much, like that we can have an open conversation like this and like not fight.
Yeah.
Like genuinely just sit there and have this like an uncomfortable thing happen. Mm-hmm. Like uncomfortable things are going to happen throughout your entire marriage.
Yes.
And so like it just, I don't know. I think I
see people who have like cheated because of this like idea of this spark, which they had with that person initially, but then they've done work and then they become like more of a comfortable type of love. And then they leave for this spark. And then 6 months in, they're like, oh, fuck, I'm in the same place that I was and
exactly.
I hate myself.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's so
now, I've
powerful.
never, like that, I'm not really, cheating is like not, I don't think, a part of my personality.
No.
It feels like weird to say on the air, like, but it definitely clarified what do I do with when I see someone and I instantly develop feelings. Like, what do you do with that?
It also makes you less jealous because you realize the same way you had a spark with someone and then consciously were like, yeah, but they're not my girl. They can do that too.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I've done it, they've done it, we're the same, we're two humans.
And of course, hearing that she would have that with someone would be not fun to hear.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'd rather hear that and know that she came to me and wouldn't be, on her phone texting that guy or seeing that guy's friend. You know what I mean?
Well, it's the classic joke of people being like, when I heard about that he dated other people before me, and you're like all mad, and then you're like, you've dated other people before him. So let's just like, let's be honest and move on and realize we're both existing in the same world. This has been so eye-opening for me, and you're so vulnerable about your open relationship.
I know, it's one of those things where I'm like, it is not traditional. So it's like, what are people going to think? And
no, I think
how are people going to judge me?
I think people are more judgmental when they don't understand it.
And I want to clarify, like, I've never wanted to be in an open relationship. I was like totally monogamous, like never really had a desire to see other people while I was in those relationships. Like, that's why I said like cheating like it's just something that I would never do to someone.
Yeah.
And yet being in an open relationship makes it feel like, oh, even less.
That's why I think I wanted to talk to you, because I feel like we had a very similar stance on stuff. Like, we both love monogamy.
Yeah.
We would never cheat. So for you to then say I'm in an open relationship, it felt like something that I wanted to hear how your brain works and how you do it. And it makes it seem less like this freaky, queer shit that people do.
Yes, yeah.
By you explaining it makes it seem so like it's logical.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And
You're not doing, like, some people think it's like some like wild sexcapade.
No, totally not.
And like people put so many stereotypes on it.
I'm not like, neither one of us is like hooking up with a ton of people.
Yeah.
Like, we're, and we're also practicing safe sex. So we sort of like have to have these conversations around like how we're practicing safe sex and getting tested and yada, yada, yada.
Also, there's something hot about like the fact that you don't have to, but each day you are consciously choosing each other.
Yeah, I think that is another part of it. Like, it's crazy how you could meet someone that you have a spark with and then within like 48 hours be like, nah. Rather than doing this whole like new relationship energy, like when you fall for someone, your body goes fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a dopamine.
You're sick and you're thinking about them all the time and yada yada. And it's just like it sucks all of the air out of that. And it's not such a big secret.
So you realize how it really is this like mental hormonal experience.
Totally.
Wow.
Love is like obviously I felt that with Jen, like when I met her. But the thing that I love about Jen is like it's been such a long, slow burn, and it just like keeps getting better and better and better. And I never thought that I would have like such a peaceful, growing relationship with someone based on my horrible 20s.
Yeah.
Whereas it was when I fell in love, I was like physically ill.
Yes.
Felt like I was gonna die. Obsessed with this person. You know what I mean? And then you're ignoring every red flag.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you're living with them.
Yeah. You're crying in their bathroom.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's once a guy told me that he loved that our relationship was a slow burn, and I took it personally. Like I felt like it was like, oh, so he doesn't mean we have this like crazy hot love. Like I was like, slow burn. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
It's so much
I think he meant
better.
that like we just didn't fight.
Yes, yeah.
But I was like, slow burn. So like you didn't really like me at first.
I mean, I'm writing a show about this right now, but like that sick feeling, like physical illness of falling in love. I had butterflies with Jen, but like I didn't feel that. And now I know enough about myself that if I feel that for someone, run away. Like my childhood idea of love, the one that I feel the most in like my nervous system, usually not a good sign. Like usually that person is gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
And Jen, like my heart is like protected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need to feel sick and upside down. Like I'm protected.
Well, it feels like the home you want.
Yeah.
Not the home that you know.
Yes.
Which is sometimes very hard to decipher.
Totally. Like I feel like that kind of love was my past, and Jen is like the love, my future, and what I'm trying to build and what I want my children to understand love to be.
Speaking of your future, what are we manifesting? What are you focusing on? What are you looking forward to?
I feel like this is like we're gonna go to brunch, and this is like what I want to talk to you about. I don't. My special is out. Like, go watch it. Yeah. Are we doing plugs or are we just talking?
Plug your shit.
Well, my special's out. It's on YouTube. It's really good.
It's amazing. Why'd you decide not to give it a unique title?
Honestly, I was so nervous, and for good reason, about what men would think of the title and the thumbnail and stuff like that. And I just wanted it to be clearly
evergreen,
a comedy special for everyone.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to, it's called Live in Chicago. And that's all.
Because I know you always have a reason behind everything. And I was like, I wonder what
I wish, going back and looking at the set, the title that I should have given it that I didn't think of, that I think was evergreen, is Outside Baby.
Ooh.
Because the inside outside baby joke.
That's really good.
And also the special is
you can always change it.
Born into the world. So
you can always just change the title.
What is wrong with me?
I don't know. You could just change the thumbnail.
You're so right.
Like, just do it.
Outside Baby.
Yeah, you already got the generic one. I think you should do it. I think Outside Baby's really good. And then do like a re-promo of it.
Yeah, because it is my outside baby.
It's
if you know the joke, the special is my outside baby.
It's so good.
So like, yeah, that's what I would. And that's not like, it's not a lesbian title. It's not like it's just like, you're like, oh, what does that mean?
Exactly. I'm obsessed with you because you're not only kind, but you're also so weirdly emotionally. I mean, no, look. You're amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Because you're like really smart, but you're also really like creative, and that's very rare to find in a person.
Oh, thanks.
And it freaks me out a little bit. But you're a little comedic genius, and I'm obsessed with you, and I'm so excited for your future.
Thanks.
And people who, like, the little devils who listen, they've known you for a long time.
Yeah, I've done this pod like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, so I think they've also been with you a little through a journey.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really just, you have so much fun stuff going on in your future, and we can't wait for
I hope so. I'm trying
journey.
to figure it out. The writer's strike is definitely like, okay, well, do I like work on something for like after? I can't meet with anybody. No one's meeting with anybody. And what do you work on? And so I'm working on a piece of stand-up, like a solo show. It is comedy, but like you're gonna cry watching it. It's comedy the whole time, and also you are weeping. I am weeping.
Yeah.
So it's like more deeply personal. It's about the death of my therapist. So it feels like a therapy session.
Wow, I love that. Not to bring up my husband again, but he's made like documentaries and specials about the death of both his parents. So like it's beautiful when you can find that balance of like you're feeling so many emotions, you're laughing, you're crying, you're throwing up, you're having diarrhea. I'm obsessed with that. And also it's gonna be therapeutic for you, you know that.
Yeah. It already, I mean, I've only run it twice, but I'm running it all summer at my weekly show, Sunday school. Well, not every week, but many of the weeks will be dedicated to the show. So if you come to Sunday school, best show in New York.
It was amazing.
Hannah's there sometimes.
Hell yeah.
Come back.
I would love to. Where can people follow you? Where can people watch your stuff? Any plugs we forgot?
I mean, like, if you're going to do one thing, go watch the special. And I feel like just from that, you'll probably decide whether or not you want to come see me live. But I have all these tour dates. Yeah, like, you're a fucking human. You know how to use your goddamn brain. But my name's Ashley Gavin, so just search it on whatever social media. But if you're going to do one thing, if you're like, I want to see more, go watch the special, and I think that will take you down the funnel of things that you can do.
Wow, go down Ashley's funnel.
Yes.
You will not regret
Crawl deep inside my funnel.
It's cozy, it's warm. It's Gorilla Grip. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
I don't know if that's true.
And we'll discuss more hell later. Bye, guys.
What? I was going to say, like, you called it Gorilla Grip, and I was like, no. And then I was like, I've never had sex with a man. I probably have the tightest pussy on the planet, but I have loose pussy energy. Even though my pussy is probably so tight, I have just such loose pussy energy.
What is loose pussy energy?
You don't look at me and think, that's a cave.
Hot dog down the hallway.
What do you think? You're looking at me. Do I have tight pussy energy or loose pussy energy?
I think you have very tight pussy.
I plead the fifth.
I thought you were doing like the fifth, like 5 fingers. You're a 5-finger bitch.
I think you have tight pussy and butthole energy.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.